South Carolinians can now take home more of their favorite craft beer on their next trip to the brewery.
It's part of a new state law that could help expand the craft beer business in South Carolina.
State House reporter Mary Green has the details.
The South Carolina Brewers Guild says a new law that's now in effect, called the South Carolina Craft Beer Economic Development Act, ushers in the most substantial changes to the state's craft beer laws in years.
The two changes that were enacted by the governor allows for breweries such as mine and the others around the state to have more strategic options in their business planning as they move forward.
Pierce Fleming of Common House Ale Works in North Charleston says even though this new law has only been in effect since earlier this summer, customers are already making the most of it.
The early reports we're getting from around the state from a Brewers Guild perspective have been positive.
The first part of the new law affects how much beer you can take home daily from craft breweries in the state. Before, you were limited to the equivalent of 1 case of 12-ounce cans. Now that's expanded to the equivalent of 3 cases of 12-ounce cans or 2 cases of 16-ounce cans. And it also covers the amount that's in a smaller keg.
That's huge for consumers across South Carolina who have home kegerators, who are looking to have a retirement party at the house, a wedding, and they want to go in and purchase their favorite South Carolina produced and manufactured beer in a sixtel keg.
North Carolina doesn't have any limit on how much beer adults can take home each day from breweries. South Carolina brewers say upping the limit here will allow them to better compete, especially in parts of the state that border North Carolina.
That's going to increase tourism. That's going to increase, keeping folks here in South Carolina. It's going to increase the amount of money that's being spent here in South Carolina in local businesses.
The second change allows breweries with multiple like-owned locations to transfer product more easily from one to the other without needing to first sell it to a wholesaler and then buy it back as they had to do before.
That's the piece that's going to really contribute to, I think, growing these breweries that are looking into expanding, looking into having a second location, a third, fourth, whatever that may be. I think we're finally seeing some steps in the right direction for them to be able to have some foundation to be able to do that within South Carolina law.
And it turns out there is bipartisan support within the General Assembly for clearing these regulations in South Carolina's craft beer industry. With this legislation passing both chambers here earlier this year with just a single vote against it on the floor. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
One limit that still does remain in place is how much beer adults 21 and older can actually drink on site at a brewery.
Now, state law limits them to 48 ounces a day, the equivalent of 4 12-ounce cans.